Dennis Simpson here from the beautiful shores of Lake DeSoto in Hot Springs Village, Arkansas, giving you the pros and cons of living in Hot Springs Village. Now, as a guy who's been here roughly 25 years, one way or the other, living here permanently for the last 15, I can tell you there are a lot of differences and a lot of things that you think you may know, but you don't know. But Hot Springs Village offers a unique blend of natural beauty and community spirit, which is a huge thing. A range of amenities to meet many residents. However, like any locations, it has its pros and cons. On the pro side, it's behind you. Oh my goodness, people. This is a beautiful late spring day. It is mid-May. Temperature's about 82. The weather, kind of hard to beat in some places. Yeah, we have a winter, but man. 9 golf courses, 11 lakes, 29 miles of hiking trails, indoor pool, indoor spa, sauna, gymnasium, full workout facility. It would extremely reasonable rates too. Have an outdoor pool that's about to open this May 26th because that'll be Memorial Day this year. What going on? I'm actually getting ready to do a show about the wildlife in Hot Springs Village. Across the street we have fox kittens that are about that long, and they are curious about everything. So we have, I think, 4 of them, 3 of them I know made it, but they were literally born in the ditch across the street, and the mama sits up on the hill and watches. Wildlife, the natural beauty cannot be described. Right behind me, 3 hills behind me is 250,000 acres of wilderness. People say, oh, I'd love to go see that. Nah, not exactly. You see, you can't drive through the wilderness. You can drive around the outside of it. We're doing a show about the Flatside Wilderness area and the Forked Mountain area too. You'll see that shortly. Stay tuned, subscribe, like. It's going to be worth your while. That said, the natural beauty. This last year we had the bear swim across this Lake DeSoto. We have bald eagles. Yes, we have snakes. Not a problem. I'll explain that later. Squirrels, foxes. We had, about 3 years ago, we had a deer swim the entire width of this lake. Literally, get up just downstairs below us, steam boiling off him on a 28-degree morning, shook it off, walked up into the woods. We have nature. Warning, it will bite you, but we have nature, beauty, tons of outdoors activities, 172 holes of championship golf. How can you go wrong? Community and lifestyle. The sense of community in Hot Springs Village is very strong. It's a modern day Mayberry with a plethora of clubs. I think we had 66 clubs last time I checked. Groups, events, newcomers, meetings, and you can find your niche. You can find your groove. You will settle in. Let me just throw you a wild one here, and I know this sounds just absolutely stupid. I was honored by the Imperials the other day. You may have seen one of our shows with the Imperials. Unbelievable classic contemporary music organization. You would think of it as a quartet. It started as Jake Hess and the Imperials, which was just 4 guys singing Southern Basic Harmony, and it was beautiful. It was wonderful. That said, they evolved into an amazing, super contemporary group that were ahead of everybody else. They sang with the Imperials, everything. I have a jacket in here they gave me that I was awarded in a very touching moment for me. I didn't really know what to say. I knew they were going to do something nice. They had said, well, be prepared. We may want you on stage or whatever. They gave me an original tour jacket from the guy who sang my part, bass, in the original group, Armin Morales, the king, one of the smoothest bass voices in the world. And to get that trophy, that prize, that gift, I was moved beyond words. Believe that or not, even beyond words for me, people. But the part of that, my goose is saying hi. Remember the wildlife part? Yeah. The geese are here. I think they're eating the bread I threw out down there. But with the Imperials coming to town, giving me an honor like that, I had a moment to grab the microphone. You may have seen this on our Facebook page. And I said, you can be anything you want in the village. And that is not an exaggeration. You can make yourself over. And I know this sounds silly. I was going to say you can make yourself over. Heck, you could even be a Methodist, you know. What happens is that when you move to a place like this, where all the bounds are off, maybe you want to be an artist. Maybe you've always wanted to be in photography. Man, this is the place to be. You say, well, I always like to take a good picture. I know that we have at least 2 great photography groups here in the village. We had a drone group. I think we still have that. A computer club, a glee club, the actors, the thespians, oh my goodness, the HSV players, they're getting ready to do a show called Henry V, I should say, and I'm getting ready to do a show with them. Wonderful people, incredibly talented people. As I left the stage, Shannon was going to sing next, and she has the voice of an angel, the Imperials concert, and we have a show with her planned too also, by the way. But as I was leaving the stage, she said, that's true. You can do anything in the village. You can make yourself over. She said she's played with some of the greatest musicians in her life were in Hot Springs Village. She had some of them accompanying her on stage Thursday night. The places you can go and the things you can do in Hot Springs Village, you will amaze yourself. It is, and this is my term, I've heard others use it too, this is a modern day Mayberry. Oh, Dennis, it's not that nice. Yeah, let's go on to some of the next issues and you be the judge. I want to make note, a lot of people make friendships here that you didn't see coming. You know, you go to church with people, or you don't go to church, whichever. You're in a golf club. You're in the Boomers, which is 1,000 members in the Boomers. 1,000 members. And Diane barely squeaked in because I was the Boomer and she under the line, you know. But they have bowling, bunco, bongo, you name it. There's more organizations and groups than you can shake a stick at. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. You will plug in somewhere, I promise. Amenities. Despite its secluded feel, Hot Springs boasts a wealth of amenities. Golf, fitness, as we talked about before, tons of restaurants. Residents have everything they need. The village is designed to cater to the variety of interests and hobbies. Mr. Cooper himself said that when he wanted to build a retirement community, what he was looking for was a place where people could live better in their retirement than they did in their regular life. He was an attorney from West Memphis. Mr. Cooper was the founder and the originator, the developer of Hot Springs Village and Bella Vista and Tellico Village, and I can go down the list. He made some mistakes at Cherokee Village. That was his first one. He didn't make boundaries enough and whatever. So then he eventually put this gate up, which made us the world's largest gated community. You say, Dennis, the world's? Yeah. Xinjiang, China has a gated community that is larger, but it is multiple gates and multiple facilities. It's different cells. As a singularly gated facility, 26,000 acres, 41 square miles, roughly 18 miles from gate to gate. And I think it's 2 manned gates and 3 unmanned gates. There may be 4 unmanned gates, but we'll talk about that later. It's by far and away the world's largest. 284 subdivisions, but roughly about the size, roughly around the same size of the villages in Florida. We have 19,000 people. They have 150. Yeah. We left room for the nature and the trees. You say, well, what are the pros and cons again, Dennis? Well, for me, the pros, it's not crowded. It's beautiful and secluded. Do you hear anybody or anything? I live on a lake that is, well, now, thanks to you, Mouton, completely populated. There are no vacant lake lots here after 54 years. Do you hear anything? We heard the goose a minute ago. I think somebody's maybe mowing their lawn on the other side, maybe. Hard to hear. At night, it is profoundly quiet, and the skies are unbelievably dark. You can see things you'll never see in the city. Just don't even give it a try. It won't work. I promise you. You will never see some of these things in the city. All that said, with gates, what's the purpose of the gates? You know, we have a manned gate on this end that's 24 hours a day on the west end. On the other end, on the east gate, it's from, I think, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. After that, you can wave your card, your HID, High Intensity Digital Reader card, and you can let yourself in. That said, coming up to a gate is not exactly what someone with nefarious intent wants to do. If you're a criminal, or you're criminally oriented, or you are just going to go poking around, that gate's going to stop you, and it does. I came up here 32 years ago, and I needed gas. And I pulled inside, and I pulled to the gate, and I said, I just need to come in and get gas. The guy said, do you have a pass or a contact at the gas station? I said, no, I just need gas. He said, I'm sorry. You'll have to go somewhere else. There's some gas stations at the bottom of the hill. Oh, really? So there's none of this coming in and just looking around. And as such, and I've said this repeatedly, outside that gate in Garland County is 88% of the national crime rate, which even at that is a little spotty. There are places in Garland County, in some downtown areas in Hot Springs, where it's a little dicey. Over on this side, Saline County, there's some places in Benton that are not so great, but the rest of it is there's 88% of the national crime rate, 86% of the national crime rate, 13.2% of the national crime rate, 3 standard deviations below. We went 37 years without a homicide. You say, well, nobody's there. No, Dennis. 37 years. There was a homicide in the village? It was tragically sad. It was an elderly lady with dementia. She was convinced that her husband was having an affair, which he wasn't. She threw an ashtray at him, hit him in the head. He had a concussion and died the next day. That's our homicides here in the village. Yeah. Does crime exist? Of course. Crime exists everywhere. Does it exist this way? No, not like you're thinking. If you're from a major city and you come here, it's going to take you a year or two to kind of wind down. You say, well, really, Dennis? I'm serious. If you think porch pirates are going to be a problem, you are mistaken. Let me give you an example. Let's say that someone comes and steals something off your front door, and they get in a white car and they start driving a white Ford toward the gate. Yeah, there's a white Ford going toward the gate, and I believe there was a blonde female, mid-30s, who apparently took my package. Could you pull her over and see what's going on there and see if she has a package? Sure. Criminals aren't interested in that. That's too much attention. They don't want that. Another pro of living in the village, typically as a rule, cost of living is significantly less. Now, there are other podcasts that go into this in greater detail, but in simple terms, it would be simple to say that it's usually 15 to 25% cheaper to live in Arkansas. We do have a state sales tax, which is very, very small. We do have a small tax on groceries, and obviously everybody does on gas. But you'll find that our real estate taxes are extraordinarily reasonable. This is the county is going to say it's a $450,000 house. Our taxes are under $100 or a little over $100 a month, about $1,400 a year, about $120 a month, something like that. Yeah. You're going to have trouble finding that anywhere else. Okay, also, Hot Springs Village, Maine is relatively affordable compared to metropolitan areas. It's a bargain by any stretch. Well, I mean, you add in the security. What would it cost you to have year-round security at both gates? What would it cost to have inside your gated community, which, by the way, 37% of all new homes built last year, yeah, they were in private security gated. So, Dennis, what are the downside? What are the cons? There's got to be cons, and there are. We take for granted that most of us work remote or semi-remote. I am an IT tech, and I've done this for 31 years. Remote access is kind of part of my life. Internet access here used to be a question, but it's no longer a question. In Hot Springs Village, fiber is being run by a company called Hyperfiber to all the locations. A gig symmetrical, that's 1,000 megs up, down, 1,000 megs up. That's right at $80 a month. No contract, no installation fee, nothing. They're the dream provider. Optimum is our legacy provider for cable TV and internet and phone and security and whatever. And the fine folks at Optimum, they're kind of, they're not well thought of in some ways, simply because they want people to sign a contract. You can get a service that's a gig down, a gig of input, 1,000 megs coming in, but typically you can only push out about 50. And for a provider like myself that makes a lot of media, radio, TV, podcast all the time, it's a lot of data. But the bottom line is if you want a physical job, there's only so many. We always joke and say BYOJ, bring your own job, but you do get this. Hot Springs Village is about 17 miles northwest, or a little bit northeast, I should say, of Hot Springs. We are about 4 miles south of a 1.7 million acre national forest. So we're kind of squashed in between. While we are partially secluded, does that mean that you can grab sushi at 3 a.m.? No. Most things close about 8 or 9. Our Walmart, which I was stunned when I moved here, I decided to drop by and go to Walmart about midnight. And I walked into Walmart because it's a super center, right? And I walked into the Hot Springs Village Walmart and bebopped on in the door, and there was a bunch of staff sitting here eating at the table. And they just looked at me, stared, and they said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Of course, the doors weren't locked." And I said, "Well, I'm coming to get some stuff." And they said, "We closed at 10. What? So things to adjust with. I think they open at 6, if I'm not mistaken. We do have our own DF&A office, our you would call it motor vehicles or register or whatever, but we have our own dedicated office. There's about 19,000 of us, and it's a great location. But we had a guy move from California, and he said he was so stunned to move to Hot Springs Village because he didn't even have to get an appointment to go to the motor vehicle department. An appointment? I've never heard of such. I've never heard those words come out before. C'est la vie, huh? It is what it is. Weather considerations. Well, once again, we're somewhat secluded, but we're about 20 minutes. Most of you are about 20 minutes from sushi, right? I mean, we're about 20 to 25 minutes from anything in downtown Hot Springs. Kohl's, Michael's, all the big box stores, Best Buy, Sam's, all the stuff that you're used to seeing. Weather considerations. Yeah, we have weather. Typically, it will get in the mid-90s pretty much all summer long. It can be muggy. It can be humid. You usually don't have to put on much chapstick. But that said, it's like this. It's glorious. It really is. And not only is it glorious and quiet and tons of nature too. Shopping. The modern day shopper could be a little aggravated. We're about 30 minutes from all the things you think of. Fine dining, if you were looking for fine dining, we have great dining facilities here in Hot Springs Village, but you're looking for really fine dining, the $100 steak, that kind of thing, you'd probably want to go to 501 Prime in Hot Springs. A friend of ours owns that. Or the Vault, which is an old bank building that they remodeled in. Both of those are amazing. Now, for what it's worth, you say, well, I'm really not in the mood for a $100 steak, Dennis. Well, they have a bar adjacent at the Vault. It's upstairs, and the 501 Prime, the bar is upstairs too. They sell a lot of the same products, just smaller versions with the bar, more bar food. But in conclusion, Hot Springs Village offers a unique, tranquil environment with a natural beauty and community spirit, range of amenities. However, potential residents could weigh these benefits against the drawbacks, such as limited employment opportunities and a secluded location, to determine if it's the right fit for you. And in my personal opinion, secluded fits me just fine. Dennis Simpson, Hot Springs Village Venues. We will see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Don't delay. Call Jana. Jana Cook, Taylor Realty, 501-617-9747. Whether you're buying, selling, or just considering. Oh, we don't need a realtor yet. Yes, you do. Don't delay. Call Jana. 501-617-9747. Hot Springs Village Venues is brought to you by KVRE at 92.9 and streaming worldwide on iHeartRadio. KVRE is your family-owned local hometown radio station, so be sure and tune in for live local programming, news, sports, and information every day at 92.9. HSV Radio. HSV Radio is heard every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. or streaming on any of the major platforms. Hot Springs Village Radio is an eclectic mix of music, motivation, great music history, and Saturday morning fun. Join us every Saturday morning at 9 a.m., 92.9. And brought to you by the Hot Springs Village Voice, Hot Springs Village only newspaper, also serving all of Saline and Garland County. Your local newspaper for local events. No one else has more local news than the Hot Springs Village Voice about the Hot Springs Village area. Sign up today at hsvvoice.com or call 501-623-6397. Again, that's 501-623-6397. Located at 3576 North Highway 7 in Hot Springs Village, Arkansas, just in front of Walmart. Brought to you by Gotta Go Vacations. www.gottagovacations.com. Troy Woods and Patrick Cunningham at 501-204-4805 can help you with any of your travel needs. Patrick and Troy have been airline stewards for decades, and their experience and their travel can serve you well. GottaGoVacations.com, again, that's GottaGoVacations.com, can help you book the perfect tour for you, whether it's a riverboat cruise up the Mississippi or the Rhine. These guys are who you need to call. 501-204-4805. Troy or Patrick, 501-204-4805. GottaGoVacations.com. D&D Village Properties. Hot Springs Village only short-term rental with over 2,100 five-star reviews. All properties are lakefront. They include complimentary kayaks, hot tub, pet-friendly, and a stunning view of the lake. Visit DD Village Prop today for your vacation getaway.